RapidScale Cloud Mail, you're in the right place, because all we're going to see is more and more business coming to the cloud sector of our wonderful industry. So without further ado, we shall get it rocking and rolling for you all this morning. My name is Mark Sotkowski, and I am the president here at RapidScale. Super excited about doing this webinar. I think this is webinar like 28 for me, which is just really, really fun. As always, I have Ms. Summer Fagone on the call with us today. Summer and our solution engineering teams will be answering any questions you guys have throughout the process today. Feel free to use the questions section within the control of GoToWebinar, and they will be answering those as we go along. As
Mark,
always, a little bit of housekeeping. Yes.
We can't see your screen yet, actually.
Can't see my screen. Well, thanks for letting me know, Summer.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do show my screen. Aha. Okay, now can you see it, Summer?
Yes.
All right. Sorry about that, guys. That is what we call a ID10T error. And if you don't know what an ID10T error is, write it down, and you will soon see that. That's me being an idiot and not hitting sharing my screen, so my apologies. But that's okay. We will get it rolling. As I mentioned, normal housekeeping for our webinars. The deck and the video will be sent to everybody who has registered for the event today, so we appreciate you being on board. And it will also be posted into the partner portal, where, as if you are a new member to our community, or this is your first or second webinar, don't forget all the webinars from the past are on there as well, and they're really well labeled. So if you want to learn more about RapidScale or the industry or the trends of the industry or how to sell into vertical markets, we literally have dozens and dozens of recorded webinars on there. I strongly suggest you go and take a look at it and check it out. So let's jump into Office 365 and specifically RapidScale's ability to provide Office 365 to your customers. First, a little bit of statistics for you guys, and these, I love the fact that Summer goes in and digs all these statistics up for us every month, because it just blows me away, and you all know I'm not a slide reader, so I'll let you all read the slide, but the amount of people who are getting on to the Office 365 platform is just shocking, guys. And what does that mean to everybody on the call today? It means opportunity is exactly what it means for you. More and more of your customers are moving to Office 365 for a variety of reasons. But one of the biggest reasons that they're moving to Office 365 is Microsoft's change in their licensing practices. So Microsoft has made decisions to increase the number of users if you're going to get an EA, an enterprise agreement with them. And I believe the latest minimum number for an EA is either 250 users or 500. If they have not moved to the 500 yet, they will be soon. And what this is doing is effectively forcing customers who have less users than that, or less employees, is another way to look at it, to move to another solution. And obviously Microsoft's solution, guys, is Office 365. We see more and more customers coming this way. We started our Office 365 practice over a year ago now, and for a long time we were stuck on did we want to offer Office 365 or not as a company. And at the end of the day, the executive team finally made our decision to say we need to do this. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We have way too many partners coming to us and asking us to help them procure Office 365 for their customers. And if RapidScale didn't have this on our line card as a product set, obviously we weren't being invited in to bid on a lot of deals. And we found that, like Cloud Mail or Hosted Exchange, Office 365 is an incredible entry point for you with your customers. Let's talk a little bit about Office 365 and how that transition is, that decision to make that transition is made, because it's a little outside of your traditional IT route. We see more and more business owners in the SMB market space who have just been flooded with Office 365 marketing from Microsoft and other providers like us, in all the benefits and advantages of moving to the Office 365 platform. And these executive teams are now going to their IT departments and making the decision for them, and that's a big differentiation. If we roll the clock back 5-7 years, your typical IT procurement strategy was the IT team had a challenge, a business challenge or a need, and they went out and solved that need or challenge with technology, be it software as a service or be it just a new software package, a new ERP, a new CRM, whatever it may be. And then they would go through a standard decision-making process internally to their company, whereas they would bring forth a proposal or multiple proposals on what they were trying to achieve. It would get to the IT steering committee or a body thereof, similar making, and they would make the decision, is this going to be, an affordable, financially wise decision for us to do? What are the benefits that we're going to get out of making this technology purchase? And how is that going to impact our return on investment, our overall profitability, et cetera? What we've seen with cloud in general, specifically Office 365, is the executive team is now being influxed with this marketing and this information. And if you fly and you jump on a plane and you open any of the airlines magazines, you'll see tons and tons of cloud computing solicitations from everybody from Amazon to Microsoft to IBM, et cetera. So the executive teams are now making the decision and going to the IT teams and saying, I want this. That being said, it's putting you in a position that you're quite familiar with for a lot of you who have nice-sized customer bases. You've now let your customers know that, hi, my company can be your IT procurement arm. I can get you whatever you need in IT, be it a server or virtual machines with a supplier like RapidScale, or software as a service, whatever it may be. You're becoming that trusted advisor for your customers, or you already are that trusted advisor. So they're coming to you and saying, I need to procure, 250 Office 365 licenses. And then, as normal, you would go out and find the suppliers who offer it and bring proposals forth, et cetera. Standard sales practice in our industry and in the channel. What we are seeing, though, is as it's an entry point for customers to get into the cloud, just like with Hosted Exchange, once they move this workload into the cloud and they start to reap the benefits, both financially and technologically, of the new business or the new line of business application they bought, they start looking at where else can we do this, right? And that's really what we see Office 365 as. It's a starting point, guys. It allows you to jump in, pick up a piece of business from them, and then continue to work with your customers and find out what's their roadmap, right? What's their cloud roadmap? What's their technology roadmap for 17, 18, and beyond? And when you start talking business questions to your customers, you move up the scale within the organization, and all of a sudden you're dealing with the CFO, the CEO, the CTO, the people who are making the decisions. And the more knowledgeable you are around line of business applications, virtual machines, storage, backups, security, et cetera, the more of their business you're going to pick up. And when you look at the IT spend in a pie chart, if you're a traditional voice and data services provider, that we work with a lot of y'all, you're typically going to be somewhere between 5 and 15% of that pie in just network voice and data services. That's leaving anywhere from 90 to 80% of the pie remaining. Now, some of that IT spend we'll never be able to get into, but more and more of it we are starting to be able to get our fingers into and bring that business on board with you. And that being said, a big piece for us to look at Office 365 is the plans that they have in place today. So it's super critical that you understand the different plans when it comes to the Office 365 solution suite. We've got our channel managers, which we call partner experience managers now, all over the country. If you don't know who your channel manager is, shoot me an email or shoot an email to marketing, and we will get you aligned with that right channel manager. Our channel managers are very knowledgeable around the different licensing plans and what they include. But it can get very convoluted and complex quickly, and that's what our solution engineering team is here for. Again, solution engineers are now geographically dispersed around the country with RapidScale. Please go to your partner experience manager first. They'll get you in touch with the solution engineer, and we can really dig into what is it that your client is looking to do. Like anything else, the CEO comes into the IT director's office and says, you know something, I want to move to Office 365, make it happen, right? And now that's a demand on that IT director to go out and get it. Your job is to make sure that IT director knows that you can supply that solution to them. But when we peel that onion back and we start to get into a discovery around what is it they're looking to do with Office 365, we can then start to tailor a solution to them based on the different bundles or product licensing that Microsoft offers. From a RapidScale standpoint, you know, you're going to see the pricing is very similar across all the suppliers that are out there, and that includes Microsoft Direct, right? So how do we stand apart? Why would you want to bring your customer to RapidScale for an Office 365 solution? And it's really simple, guys. It comes down to support and management. So pretty industry standard. There's admin-only support, which is where we're basically setting the customer up, giving them the administrative access, and they're going in and kind of running everything themselves. They're doing this through you because it's easier to go through a supplier who's knowledgeable around the Office 365 plans and what they bring into play than for them to go out there, do the research themselves, and figure it out, right? But differentiation number one for RapidScale is end-user support, right? So we have that $4 a user end-user support, and this changes the game for those IT directors and those IT teams that are out there today. They now can have support from RapidScale, and it's mission critical that I share this with you guys today. When we are running on the Microsoft platform, in other words, we're delivering Office 365 to your customers, we are at Microsoft's will, just like your customers and just like everybody else on the platform. Microsoft is a huge organization, and of course, they like everybody else have outages, guys. And we make it very, very clear to customers that if it is a infrastructure platform outage, and Microsoft, say, is down in the northeast part of the country, we're stuck like they are, right? We know the Microsoft engineers are in there doing their job, trying to get it back up as quickly as possible. But we are all at the mercy of Microsoft and when they bring that back up. And what I want you to show you here is the difference in our support structure as compared to Microsoft's, right? Critical priority levels. Your customer calls us and says, they get into the office, they can't get into the Office 365, nothing is working. You know, we're committing to them a 15-minute response time. It may be something that is running internally to them that they're having a problem with. It certainly could be a platform issue as well. But we are going to be responsive to them and let them know that we're on the case. We're escalating within Microsoft to find out what the problem is and to find the quickest need to resolution. A high priority level, you know, we're promising them an hour response time. When you look over at the Microsoft Small Business and Enterprise, you see that that changes dramatically, right? All of a sudden, there's no commitment during business hours, and it's 24/7 next day business response for a high level issue. A critical issue would be the platforms now, guys, just to kind of give you an example. When we go to medium issues, you know, now we're talking probably individual user challenges that are going on. You know, we're saying we'll get you a 4-hour response time. Again, no response time from Microsoft. So why do a lot of our partners bring RapidScale into play here? Well, there's a couple of reasons. Number one, you know, we do have a commission. This is a commissionable product for RapidScale. It's not at our standard commission rate because the margin simply isn't there, but it is commissionable. So you can capture money by selling Office 365, which is very important. That's why we're all in business. You're not gonna retire on it, I'm sure, but you're gonna start to get paid on it. And more importantly, your customer is now gonna look at you as their IT trusted advisor, right, or one of their IT trusted advisors. And that's really what we're trying to get to. We're trying to get a bigger piece of that IT spend pie for our partners out there. business by the numbers. Take a look at, this is crazy, guys, at how much email is now impacting our business. And most people think Office 365 and they immediately think about the email option, right? That's that low dollar cost option just to provide email to the customers, right? Office 365 also provides the Office Suite. And that Office Suite is your standard PowerPoint, Word, Excel, Access, etc. And now we're looking at giving your customers a path forward on moving into a licensing that is a monthly recurring model versus moving into a purchase model, which is what most of our customers have done in the past, right? If you look at the majority of customers out there, they bought Office 2010 for their company, probably around 2013 or 12. And then they're going to ride on that, through 14. And then in 15, they're going to move to 2013 if everything's going right for them. The benefit of going to Office 365 and the licensing packages is it's your path forward onto the latest and greatest from Microsoft. Great decision, by the way, for Microsoft to move this to a recurring model, not only for them as a business, right? Because financially, I think everybody's understanding that we want to get in that monthly recurring revenue model. But on the flip side of that, Microsoft has made great software products for a very long time. And it's a testament to how good those products are that you see so many users today running on very old versions of Microsoft products because they work. There's no reason to update it. If it's not broke, don't fix it, as my father used to say. So this is a path forward for Microsoft to keep their customers on the most current version of the software that they're selling. And when you break it down to a monthly cost, the goal for Microsoft was, we look at customers refreshing every 2 to 3 years. If you look at the cost divided into 3 years of what you would pay for an MSRP Office license, they kind of work themselves out, right? The problem Microsoft has faced for, as I mentioned, years is people don't refresh every 2 to 3 years. They refresh every 5 to 7 years for their licensing. So this is a path forward for them as well as for your customers. Sorry, I meant to say that on a previous slide. So let's talk email real quick. And again, great statistics from Summer here. The amount of email accounts around the world, 4.3 billion. That's just a staggering number. And I'm blown away by that. You have 2.6 billion email users around the world. That's just wild, guys. When we think about it here in the U.S., we don't think about it. We think everybody has email, and pretty much everybody probably does. But when you start getting out into other countries on other continents, you get into third world continents, and you start to look at that 2.6 billion email users. That's just a phenomenal amount of people using email. And then I love this last stat. 54% of mail is opened on a mobile device now. And those of you who know RapidScale and you know our vision and from the beginning of our company, Randy Jeter, our CEO, from the very start, I remember when I came here 6 years ago, Randy and William were telling me, it's all going to be about application delivery, right? That's RapidScale's long-term game, to be the application global delivery provider in this space. And he was exactly right. We are seeing more and more customers not worry about the feeds and speeds, which is the underlying infrastructure on how everything's getting to them, and truly worry about performance and how that application is working for them, not only on their desktop that they work on every single day, but also on their mobile device, their tablet or their iPad, or probably more relative, their smartphone. I used to say years ago, the president gets on the plane with his family and they're heading over to Hawaii for a weekend, and his 4-year-old son walks up to him and says, "Dad, can I have your iPad? Because I want to watch a movie," right? And the president's like, "Sure, here's the iPad, son, go use it." And what he's really thinking is, how come I can't see my applications on my iPad today and see how my business is doing while I'm traveling with my family to Hawaii or Europe or Texas or wherever they may be going? And that's changing, guys. We're seeing that more and more on a daily basis. So stay tuned. That's our desktop as a service platform and product, and most of you know about that. If you don't, reach out to your channel manager, because Office 365 goes in perfectly with our desktop as a service solution. We can combine the two products and services and deliver your customer an unbelievable experience. We can also deliver them the Office suite in a different licensing strategy, which is called SPLA, Service Provider Licensing Agreements, which gives a little more flexibility to your client as well. So again, what is Office 365? What is Hosted Exchange? They're jumping off points, right? They are ways for you to get involved with your customer and start talking to them about their IT needs and challenges and where they want to go with IT. Lots more revenue for you as independent business owners, and obviously lots of suppliers like RapidScale out there competing to earn that business with you. So part of what we wanted to do today was talk about the differences between Office 365, a platform that Microsoft sells and that RapidScale sells through Microsoft, and then RapidScale's Hosted Exchange platform. So those of you who've been working with us for a while know that we are very, very well known for our multi-tenanted Exchange product. We have thousands and thousands of email boxes on this product today, tens of thousands to be fair, and it is all over the U.S. So we started with some great partners where we just sold our Exchange platform. Why Exchange? Why is this an important product set for you to think about and to know and to talk to your customers about? And let's talk about that. When you get into a business with over, let's just throw a number out there of 250, 300 users, Exchange and managing those employees on Exchange and their Outlook clients, et cetera, becomes a real part of that IT business plan. You can't support 300 people without having dedicated help desk folks who are just taking those phone calls every single day. How does this translate to you when we're talking to customers? Really easily. Most IT help desk people and most IT engineers don't like supporting Exchange. I'm just going to be candid with you. They don't like doing the patching and the updates, right? This is what we call a workload, an IT workload that is primed to move to the cloud. And if the numbers that we talked about with Office 365 a few moments ago didn't open your eyes to that, they should, right? This is the easiest workload to start your customer on in moving them into a cloud-based solution. A quick little side note, we have a partner out of Canada, and we were on a call with them a couple of weeks ago with one of their prospective clients. And it started as I want to move to Office 365. That was what we got brought in to have the conversation about. And I just want to share with you guys a couple of simple questions can change the entire dynamic around any opportunity. So they pulled us in. We did our little dog and pony show, who we are, we're RapidScale, et cetera, et cetera. The customer was great. And then the partner started to dive into the real specifics around what they were looking for with moving to Office 365. And we said, hold on a minute, can we take a step back? Can you talk to us about your 2017 IT strategy, right? We had the CTO and the CFO of this customer at our partners' offices. And the CTO said, oh, yeah, I'd love to tell you about our IT strategy. Thank you for asking. What do people in general like to do, especially executives? They like to tell you what they're doing, right? They're looking for validation, and they like to share with you. So, everybody on the call on our side was IMing each other and saying, be quiet, let the guy talk. And he rolled out this really detailed plan that I won't give you all the highlights of the details, but I will give you the end result, which was by the middle of 2018, we don't want any IT in-house at all. We want to outsource all of our IT. We're looking for IT as a service. The reason we're looking to do the Exchange first is because it's 2007, it's old, and we just let go of a help desk guy, and now we're really hurting our support system in trying to support, I think they had 600 users, memory is failing me, but they were starting to be impacted because they let one of their help desk guys go, and they couldn't keep up with the demand of their internal customers utilizing Exchange and needing support inside of that environment. So the moral of the story, take a step back, ask the question, especially if you're at that executive level, tell me your overall strategy. What are you looking to do? This turned from a $2,500, $3,500 a month opportunity out the gate into what's going to be closer to a $25,000 to $35,000 customer if we earn all of their business and we move everything that they're looking to move over to RapidScale. One simple question, can you tell me your strategy? So guys, if you're not doing that today, if you're just being that procurement arm for your customer, take a step back. You're going to increase your value to them if you ask those questions. You're going to learn a tremendous amount about where they are in their business and what they're looking to do, and you're going to get closer and closer to becoming that trusted advisor. So what's the big differentiator with Managed Cloud Mail, that's our product term, versus the Office 365? It is that managed piece of it, guys. Here at RapidScale, we are a managed cloud provider, as most of you know. All of our products and services have management options tied to them that the customer can choose to move forward with. We also have customers who are do-it-yourselfers, and they come to us and they say, provide us the platform, provide us the virtual machines, the infrastructure. We'll do everything ourselves. We're not picky. We're not choosy. We'll go on either end of the spectrum for your customers. But when you peel that onion back and you start to look at providing a managed mail solution for the customer. Now, this isn't just the operating system, the patching, uploading, making sure the network and making sure the infrastructure and the email platform is available to them 24/7 by 365. We actually are talking about end user support. So I like to use easy math. Let's just say you have a customer today, and anybody out there on the call today who's got a customer with 100 or 200 employees, I promise you this, those IT teams are under a tremendous amount of stress right now. They are looking for alternatives to help offload some of that workload that they have today. So let's just say 200 users. We'll go ahead and bring that customer on board with 200 users. We're $4 a mailbox, fully redundant, and we'll talk a little more technical here on the next slide. So $4 a mailbox, and they do everything themselves. We give them administrator access. They go in, they take care of doing all of the end user support, right? So we got 200 users. That is going to require at least one IT person and probably 20 hours, if not more, of their week to support the Exchange environment, if they're doing it in-house, and to support those end users. Now, what are our typical questions that come back from end users, right? What are the support tickets we get in? Really simple stuff like, I forgot my password. I can't find this email. I just bought a new Samsung Note 7. Just kidding, guys. I just bought a new Samsung device, and I don't know how to set up my email on it. Very, very simple requests that when they stack up and there's one person doing it and you have 200 employees, that can be a full workload for the person, right? So if we take those 200 employees, we do it at $3 per mailbox per month on top of the $4. So that's $600 a month, and I'm going to provide full help desk support for their email from their end devices through their lost mail, reset passwords, and obviously all the health of the email platform itself. That is a no-brainer decision for your customer, I promise you. That's $7,200 a year, and they've moved the whole support workload off of their internal employee. And then what can they do with that internal employee? Repurpose them. Put them into a role within the organization that turns the IT group from a cost center to a profit center. By the way, go to the partner portal, check out the past webinars. We have a full webinar on transforming your IT team from a cost center to a profit center. You want to talk, you have a bunch of IT directors that are your customers today for services you sell them, start talking to them about that transformation. You've just made them unbelievably valuable to their company, and we've got plans that can help them provide the roadmap to their executive team on how IT can actually make us money versus IT being on the cost side of the general ledger, the balance sheet, the P&L, whatever terminology you'd like to use. Big differentiation for us, guys. So, when we're talking about cloud mail, who's a good fit? You know, really any customer out there who's running anything in-house today is a good fit, guys. Here at RapidScale, we really want you to understand that we're 24/7, 365 shop when it comes to support. All of our mail in the multi-tenanted platform is spread out across the country in what are called database availability groups, or DAGs, meaning that it's redundantly built on the platform itself today. So reality is we lose a whole data center, knock on wood, that would never happen, we hope. But our mail users would barely see a blip because that workload is picked up by the other data centers and it continues to flow and run for them. Very, very important. That's a big differentiation. And yes, if you're thinking compare and contrast Microsoft Office 365, RapidScale's internal exchange platform, yes, Microsoft does the same thing. They have database availability groups too. But the differentiator is if we have a problem on our multi-tenanted mail platform, it's all our gear, guys. It's all of our exchange engineers and our level 3 engineers that can go into it immediately, find the problem and remediate it, you know, in a matter of minutes. Obviously, anything that's impacting the mail community is beyond a critical issue for us. All hands are on deck, and we work tirelessly to figure out what the problem is and solve it. And again, I want to go on record here as saying we've been doing this exchange platform for ever since I've been here, so that's 6 years. They've been doing it since 2009 or 10 for sure. Very, very few, you know, big global type outages over that time. As a matter of fact, no outages. We've had blips, but we've never gone down for a day or 8 hours. And if you look and do some Google researching, you'll see that a lot of our competition has. And, you know, the challenge here is our customers who come to us for mail, mail is, you know, an extremely important critical workload for them. And because we're not Microsoft, you know, when that mail isn't working exactly right, believe me, my support team hears about it, and we jump in to try to get it handled for them as quickly as we can. And a lot of times, guys, it could be something completely outside of our control, and this happens more than you would believe. Internet connection is down at their headquarters, and they're not getting mail. Let me rephrase that. Internet connection is down at their headquarters, and they're not getting mail on their workstations. They're getting it on their smartphones and their tablets because they're running on Wi-Fi or cellular towers, but the internet connection is down. I've had plenty of customers come to me and say, you've got to find a way around that, Mark. That can't happen to us again. Well, that's what you guys are here for, right? If we get that type of a call, we always go back to our partner and say, probably want to sell them a redundant internet connection to their headquarters to make sure they don't suffer any of these problems again. What do we need to know to make sure we're providing the solution right? And again, guys, real basic information here for you. Some of this might look weird to you, right? It might look like a different language. Don't worry about that. RapidScale's always been a shoulder-to-shoulder sales organization, meaning you kick the door down and get us an opportunity to go in there. Bring your channel manager, partner experience manager with you. We'll bring an engineer if we have to. All of my partner experience managers can handle basic mail, guys. They really don't need engineers until it gets complicated. And more of our customers have complex, complicated mail schemes, and again, that's what our engineers are in there for. But look at these questions. Know that if we can get these answers, you know, we can really start to tailor you a proposal and a quote right out of the gate. We always like to do the discovery sometimes on a real simple 100-user mail opportunity. You'll just send us this information and say, generate a quote for us. We'll generate the quote. The one thing I would ask is, do they want it fully managed? That is a big, big differentiation. And I'm telling you, you will look better in your customer's eyes if you can get into that side of the conversation with them. So not only do we offer standard mail, right? And that's what we've really been talking about. Our multi-tenanted Exchange platform is running on Exchange 2013 today. It'll be upgraded to 16 later this year. But it's just basic mail, right? It's just, hey, you got an email, you got basic spam protection that comes from Microsoft. It's basic mail. It's real simple. More and more of your customers, however, are coming out and telling us, no, that's not what I need. So RapidScale has gone out there and partnered with the best providers in the world to provide advanced mail features. One of those partners that we've had a very long, strong relationship with is Mimecast. And Mimecast is pretty much our go-to for advanced security solutions around mail, targeted threat protection, secured messaging, advanced antivirus, anti-spam, etc. It's a great add-on product. A lot of your customers are looking for it. You may not know that. A lot of your customers are working within a regulatory compliance industry where they have to be compliant for different pieces of what they do, especially around mail. And let's just use a really great example right out of the gate. HIPAA, right? All of you are familiar with the healthcare HIPAA. It's the Patient Protection Act for records for patients. One of the things that we love about Mimecast is they have a encrypted secure email solution that you don't have to go outsource this to a third party. They can actually set it up and set up a encrypted email where they're going back and forth to the insurance companies right out of their standard Outlook solution, but all of those emails are fully encrypted and password protected, and then they're opened on the other side with dual factor authentication or an SSL cert or something to that effect. But that's a great add-on, and it's not really expensive, and a lot of our healthcare customers take advantage of that. DLP, data leak prevention, is another really, really important one if you've got PCI compliant customers, right? This is an automated service that goes in and looks at every email and strips out anything that looks like a social security number, a credit card number, a birth date. Any of those things are automatically removed from the email so that employees can't make a mistake in sending that. What I really like, being in sales, like everybody on the call today, thank you again for joining with us. What I really love about selling advanced features in email is it really takes that small email customer and starts to make them valuable, right? Valuable meaning we're providing a valued service to them. It's very sticky. But now I've got a 100 user organization that wanted to start out with just mail. Okay, that's a $400 a month client. And then we layered on the management for $3. Okay, now it's $700 a month. That's not bad. Now they want to layer on advanced antivirus, anti-spam for $2, right? Now we're at $900. And then maybe they need one of the Mimecast bundles, or maybe they need an archiving solution. Those range, around $4. All of a sudden, you took a $400 customer and you're over $1,000. And let's not kid ourselves. We are all here because we're business owners, and we're here to make a profit. These advanced features allow us to, A, provide a great solution to your customer, but B, gives you more revenue on what that is for that customer, and obviously increases the commissions you make with RapidScale. Not to get into the money side of the house, but like I said, we're all here to make money, so let's be honest about it. So how do we open the door? Open-ended and probing questions. This is something I always like to jump into with you guys with regards to, Mark, it sounded like a good webinar today, really appreciate it, but everybody asks me, how do I go and get going? How can I start talking to my customers about this? Here's just a real quick, easy, open-ended probing email sheet that you can take and print it out from the presentation when it's sent to you today. And, jump on the phone with your IT director customers, or jump on the phone with regards to your IT managers even, right? And real simple questions, guys. How many email users? That's the starting point. We really don't want to do under 20, guys, and we'll be honest with you. We'll take them if you force us to. But under 20 users is typically a customer who's probably better served with a Gmail type solution, just to be fair. You know, they're small businesses, and they seem to be very, very loud, and they don't have a lot of technical knowledge around how things work. So anything that goes sideways, you know, is always your fault and our fault. That's a great example of, remember I told you about the internet connection one? Yeah, that was a small business owner that did that with us. So, and I'm sure we've had several of those. Let's just touch on a couple of other ones. And here's where I want you guys to get outside the box a little. Have you had an email outage in the last 2 years? Guys, ask the question. Have you been without email, and what was the business effect to your company? And more importantly, what was the financial effect to your company? Pain is a driver to make change. We all know that. If they had an outage or they had multiple outages with a provider, they are ready to listen to you and get a better, more redundant, resilient solution, and RapidScale is that solution. RapidScale on our old multi-tenanted platform, or RapidScale offering the Office 365 platform. Again, we're not newbies here, guys. We understand that customers will come to you and say, I want Microsoft Office 365. Don't show me anything else. That's what I want, and we're happy to comply. But at the same point in time, get us on the phone, and I almost promise you, matter of fact, I can tell you this, 80% of the customers that come to us and say, I want Office 365 E1, which is the email package, when we get on the phone and we engage with them and we just talk about the support side and the 100% uptime SLA and the credits that come with that if we fail, which we rarely ever have any credits being issued, so we're doing a great job in the engineering side of the house, we get most of them to come our side, right? We still have a lot of customers who come in and say, you know, it's all about the Office suite. That's what I'm looking for today. I want the Office suite. And then it's a Microsoft Office 365 sale all day long. When we look at a couple of other things for you to focus in on here, you know, does your business require compliancy around email communications, HIPAA, PCI, et cetera? That's a great one. Has your business been a target of spear phishing? You all know what spear phishing is. If you don't, jump on the phone with your local channel manager here at RapidScale. We'll walk you through it. Spear phishing is scary. Spear phishing rolls through to being very, very specific attacks on your customer, not just phishing, but where they're spear phishing and they're very advanced, complicated attacks. And we've heard the horror stories for a lot of these over the years. And it's scary how creative hackers and just criminals can be in trying to literally steal a lot from customers. And of course, ransomware, guys. Nobody can stop ransomware. We all try. We all use the best security we have. We've got solutions around ransomware when it comes to backing up their data. But if you're running off of just a standard exchange without any advanced security, you are increasing your probability of getting hit with a ransomware. And ransomware, as I said, it can truly, truly impact businesses in a very negative fashion. If you don't know what ransomware is, please jump on the phone with your channel manager, marketing, myself, you know, anything we can do to help you, educate you, to get you to that next level. We really want to do that. I don't see that we have a lot of questions here. Summer, I'm going to ask you to chime in and let me know if there are any questions today.
Yeah, we actually answered all of them, but there's some that I would love for you to address with everyone. So starting with, do we have a minimum for Office 365 and Cloud Mail?
Yeah, guys, 20 would be the minimum. We are truly looking to get bigger than that, not only for our sanity, but your sanity. But 20 is a really good floor for us. And by the way, I'm just going to caveat on this and let you know that 20, listen, there are businesses that are technology focused. We have a large customer billing $30,000 a month that has 12 employees. So there's always exceptions to the rule. So don't not talk to them if they have less than 20 employees. Figure out what their business is and what their IT needs are. If they're an insurance brokerage with 6 employees, probably not a great fit for us because most of their stuff is SaaS anyhow, software as a service through their insurance carriers. But if they are a technology-driven company doing real-time editing, yeah, let's talk to them, right? Let's definitely have a conversation, because that kind of a customer is going to be a very nice size client for you guys as far as annual or monthly revenue bill. What else, Sam?
All right, here's a good one. So if all partners are at the mercy of the Microsoft platform support, how does our 15-minute response time add value?
That is a phenomenal question. So it's two ways. Number one, your customer's frustrated, right? They're down. They want to know what's going on. They want to know what's happening. By us getting back to them within that 15 minutes, they at least, right out of the gate, they feel as though somebody is here and taking action on their behalf. And that's extremely important to the customers. And we work diligently, guys, to keep our customers updated with everything that we're hearing from a partner like Microsoft. You know, we'll get a distro list going with the customers that are impacted. Now, if it's a distro list and their email's down, they're not going to get anything, I know, so kind of slip of the tongue there. But we will constantly be driving to get that done. Now, don't forget, being an Office 365 supplier, we actually have got that. We've got that hotline into Microsoft, right? Sometimes the answer is we don't know what the problem is, guys, and we'll get back to you. But we are a good Microsoft partner, and we are at the top of the list when they're sharing with what's happening. We're getting that information pretty darn quick.
All right. So can you talk about the migration process of moving customer email data?
Sure. Email data. So we've got, again, guys, depending on what your customer has today and what they're looking to do, but let's just use a simple example of a customer who's running a 2010 Exchange server in-house with 500 employees on it. We can do a turnkey implementation and migration for that customer, where we will take all of the heavy lifting. They need to allow us to connect to their Exchange server with VPN tunnels, and then we utilize software or Microsoft standard tools to copy that data from their current environment over to our environment. And then once we have the data copied, we do what are called Delta passes, because the data is now residing in kind of two places, if you will. And again, this is critical for us to get that data over quickly and then run our Delta passes. And then I'm giving this at a very high level, guys. At the end of the day, we redirect their MX records, which is the GoDaddies of the world, that say where is this mail supposed to point based off of these IP addresses, and it all stops flowing to either their internal mail server and right to RapidScale, or if they were using another hosted provider, it no longer flows to that other hosted provider and it flows to us. Like I've said, we've done hundreds of these migrations, guys, and we have a very in-depth, detailed process on how to do it. We understand how critical email is to customers. We also know how long it takes to propagate an MX record change, meaning once we put it in, how long does it take to get the mail flowing from the old spot to the new spot? That varies. There is no hard number there. You know, it's anywhere from 12 to 48 hours, so we typically like to do it over a weekend. Or we have customers who say, I want to do it on a Tuesday night at 6 o'clock. And they know that we're going to do additional Delta passes for them until that mail is moved all the way over. Good question.
All right, so also touching on migration, how do our migration costs compare to competitors?
So really, I mean, to be fair, the $25, guys, is a full migration from our side of the house, from their side of the house to ours. And that's us doing everything, and that's utilizing that software that I mentioned, the software that we can run on there. We have flexibility in migration costs depending on who the customer is, what their setup is today, and what we need to do. Sometimes we can lower those costs. I would say in the marketplace, if you look at our top competition, we're all pretty much in alignment with where we're at. And I'm just thinking the channel competitors that we have that you're all probably familiar with, the Navisites, the Rackspaces of the world, you know, we can all be in that same range. And obviously volume makes sense here, guys. You know, 100 user migration is not, there's flexibility, but not a lot. When we start talking 1,000 or 2,000 mailbox migration, you know, we're not going to be charging $25 a mailbox unless there's a lot of hair around that migration. And that does happen, guys. One of the larger migrations we took on and ran was 1,800 users, and it was over 180 different locations, and every single computer had to be touched. They had POP3, they had IMAP, they had 2003 Exchange, they had 2007. They had a hodgepodge of things, and believe me, in that migration, there was not a lot of flexibility because of the actual amount of work that had to be done. Again, if you've got a customer who's got a experienced IT team, we can also set everything up and let them do the migration themselves. And a lot of the larger customers have that ability, and they'll take that on. So flexibility for us, you know, delivering what your customer needs is truly a key to success for you and I together.
All right, here's a good one. So on a migration of 500, what are the major reasons and benefits for the client to move? Could you touch on the key points and the type of discussion you would have with a client executive?
Yeah. Oh, great. Phenomenal question. Whoever that is, I owe him $5. I owe him a gift card or coffee. So 500, I love that number because that's right where we hit that sweet spot with the fully managed solution, right? Because at 500 users, I'm going to be at $3 for that managed solutions. That's $1,500 a month. I promise you that IT team has at least one person who is fully managing that environment for them today. And if you look at, I'll just use California and New York, your average IT system admin who's going to be managing this, if not an exchange engineer, you know, you're talking 70, 75,000 on the low end for an annual salary. Bake that with benefits and everything else, you're close to $90,000 in that employee's cost to the company. And this is where, if you're at that executive level, and this is where you got to be smart, guys, about how you're having the conversation. You know, I can't tell you, I've had countless conversations where I'm in at the IT manager, IT director level. We're working everything out. They make the decision to go to RapidScale. We end up in with the executive team who's signing off on it, and the executive team looks at us and says, by the way, we're going to be, you know, bringing our IT team down from 7 to 4. And that's one of the reasons we're going with you. So they made that decision. We didn't. We've also had plenty of IT teams say, we're restructuring our IT team, right? We don't want to have any system admins, any engineers on our team anymore. We're going to repurpose these guys to be business analysts and maybe database administrators, which are both roles within the organization that allow them to make money for their company instead of losing money for the company or costing the company money. So that's how I frame those conversations. And whoever asks that question, love for you to get in touch with your channel manager. It sounds like you might have a good opportunity. Let's dive in. We've got some case studies that we can share with you. We can share with everybody because all the case studies are on the partner portal. If you don't have access, hit up marketing@rapidscale.net. But we've got case studies that will walk you through how to position and sell that customer.
Perfect. I don't see any more questions right now. Let's give it a few seconds and see if anyone types any more.
Okay, well, while we're seeing if anything else comes back in, ladies and gentlemen, really appreciate your time today. Don't forget, you know, we do this now every other Wednesday, right? We've got first Wednesday of the month is the sales webinar where we're helping you position and sell the products and make the money and have the fun and hunt and kill and get the wins, right? But then we also have the third Wednesday of every month, which is going to be the deep dive technical stuff, right? So this coming Wednesday, a week from Wednesday the 19th, Mr. Dwayne Barnes, our Senior Vice President of Cloud Engineering, is going to dive into PCI compliance in the cloud. If you have any retail customers, have any customers that use credit card processing, this is one you do not want to miss. It is a great, great webinar. Dwayne, as most of you know who've been on his webinars, is extremely knowledgeable around the cloud and security, et cetera. So please take the time and join that webinar as well. And again, we'll be back the first Wednesday of May, hoping to hear about all your success in selling cloud during April. please engage your channel managers and myself, the marketing team. We're here to help you. We want to win together. Really appreciate you guys joining the call today. And if there are no other questions, Summer, we'll call it a day.
Yeah, we're good to go. Thanks, Mark.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great day. Appreciate your time.